Hello and welcome. It's The Chat. I am Manny. My guest was one of the very young governors in the 1967 regime of General Gowan, and now a royalty in the sense of being the king of brass.
His Royal Majesty, King Alfred Diete-Spiff, is a meteorologist, a seaman, the first military governor of Rivers State, a first-class traditional ruler in Bayelsa State, a businessman and administrator, an auctioneer, an agronomist, and the King of Tuan Brass. Born in the 1940s, King Alfred attended St. Joseph's College in Western Cameroon. He graduated from the Britannia Royal Navy College, Dartmouth, and served with the Royal Navy. He had a brief stint as a meteorological officer at the Ikeja Airport in Lagos. This period prepared him for the career path he eventually toed. He joined the Nigerian Defense Academy as a cadet and during training was captain of his ship, leading a squadron. At the age of 25, following the creation of states in 1967 from part of the old Eastern region, he was appointed the first military governor of Rivers State in Nigeria under the military leadership administration of General Yakubu Gowon. His time as the military administrator of Rivers State laid the foundation for the development of the state. His leadership focused on building the commercial, trade, and industrial life of the state. He also invested in human capital development, housing, transport, and tourism. During this time, he was a member of the Supreme Military Council and held office from May 1967 to 1975. After retirement from office, he returned to private practice, but barely 3 years after leaving office. He was crowned by his people in 1978 as the Amanayabo King of Tuan Brass, succeeding the late King Arisoma Sambo. A visionary community engagement officer, he keeps serving as a bridge builder between his community and multinational corporation in Tuan Brass. More recently, at the national level, he served in the Committee on Models and Structure of Government during the 2014 confab. While he remains the King of Tuan Brass, he keeps creating opportunities for his people through numerous vocational skills acquisition schemes. He spends his time playing golf in the company of friends. He is married to Her Majesty Queen Josephine Diete-Spiff, and their union has many children.
While you were in the military, what did your people criticize you for not doing in Rivers?
When I was in the military?
Yes.
No, everything, Rivers State was just created, a virgin state. And to travel from Brass, we had 5 divisions. So to travel from Brass to Port Harcourt, you needed ferries. And so one of the visits in 1968, if I recall, one of the visits to the communities, they had so many speeches. And every village or community wants to read their own. So by 6 p.m., I think it was in Degema also, they were now reading a speech. I was feeling quite tired. And I think that day my ladies had given me a cap which was too tight and was a bit tight on my head. And but then this man came up with a very brilliant speech, and we well delivered, with a nice, good, clear voice. He said, "Your Excellency, we believe in the federal military government," and I nodded. He said, "We believe in your government," and I nodded. "We believe in you, but with all the faith, we cannot walk on water, so please give us ferries."
And what did you do?
So I built 12 ferries. I built on the same hall, similar hall, we built 2 hospital boats, Kalekule and Florence Nightingale.
Is that all you remembered for doing in Rivers as governor?
No. We had
What legacy have you left behind?
Legacies. Go there, you'll see it. They're still
No. You tell me one. Mention one.
The Secretariat building, 19 floors. Even the Port Harcourt Airport we go to today, I selected that spot, flying my own aircraft from the Flying Club. And I acquired the land there in the name of the Port Harcourt Flying Club, and then gave it over to the federal government to build the international airport. So the secretarial buildings are there. We had the ferries. We even had the Delta Air Charter. We bought over the Delta Air Charter and re-equipped it with all the amphibian aircraft, the Navajo, the Aztecs, and the amphibian with Edofloat. They can land on land and land on water. We got all the corporations. Tourist Corporation had all the tourist sites and so on, including the Saka Holiday Resort, you know, all the catering rest houses. Name it. Then we had our fishing fleets going out and landing fish, fresh fish every day. The schools, we built so many schools, we renovated so many. Then we had the tertiary institution, which included the College of Arts and Science, which later became the University of Arts and Science. So you name it, every field of human endeavor, the agriculture, even the school to land and things were put in place. So
what is satisfying to you if you have to beat your chest about your, term in government?
No, the thing, life continues. Even today, I'm not a farmer, but I'm yet an agriculturalist. So here today we're talking about the Naira going up. How much is it now? 500 and something?
I have no idea.
Right.
I don't even think
it was almost 600 Naira to a dollar. What used to be $2 to a Naira.
Are you worried about it?
Yes, I am.
Why?
Because we have to start exporting. If you have cashew nuts to export and you're earning in dollars, if you have mushroom, which is one of the most modern form of agriculture, and you're earning in dollars, doesn't matter to you whether the dollar is 1,000 Naira or a million Naira.
What do you think about people who hold the military responsible for our backwardness?
No.
Period of the military.
No.
They're the most responsible for most of the backwardness of this country.
You should not blame the military. The military is a disciplined force and had a direct command and that level of discipline. You see, when you're dealing with civilians, everybody is a law to himself. Just imagine the number of governors now. How many excellencies are there? How many Senate presidents? How many senators? How many distinguished? We are so many. Nigeria can boast of so many within the last 20 years.
What would have been the alternative for the military to have continued or what?
No. The military did their bit. You got it. If they say democracy is the thing of today, we go all Democrats. But are they really Democrats? And how expensive is it? So when you spend all the money on the legislators and administration, there's little left for development. Whereas with the military, my executive council was also the legislative body to make the laws and enforce them. We had to keep the judiciary separate, just as they are. We were having the chief judge and all the other people there, and judges being appointed. And they had there'd been no tampering there. But you see, the local government at that level also, there should have been military administrators at that level. And I tried to recommend and change the local government laws to make provision for sole administrators, and appointed one or two civilians as sole administrators. And it was very effective, because that sole administrator, instead of having all the legislators at the county council level, the sole administrator now just had a set of advisors with himself, and they could now run the show more efficiently and more effectively and cost efficient too. So these are the sort of reforms I did in my own time, which a lot of others adopted. Then creating local governments. I had S.O. Way, who was the secretary to Bayesa's government, Balewa's government, coming in to do a study. And I created, from the 5 local governments we had initially when the state was created, we expanded them to 18, I think. And everybody said, your little state, how can you be having 18? I said, that's the effective way of doing it. So you find that, even as we speak today, Bayelsa has only 8 local governments. Kano has 44.
And 1 overhead bridge.
Tell them.
There is this bit of negativity between the present governor, Wike, and the former governor.
I don't know about that.
You really don't know?
I don't, and I don't want to know.
You're seriously pretending not to know?
No. Amechi is a minister here. Okay, he's in a different party from Wike. And that's it's a healthy rivalry. There must be that, you don't come, When I got in there, families told me, okay, that they don't put all their eggs in one basket. If his brother or part of the family NCNC, they have to go action group. So you don't let left out. Any side that wins, we did there.
Where's your wife from?
My wife? She's from Isoko, Delta State.
Oh, okay. Was that where you went to look for her, or you met her somewhere else?
Oh, no. She was the president of the Students' Union in Port Harcourt in 1994.
That was your attraction?
Oh, well, they called her Action. She was very, very, very precise and very articulate. And she came to invite me to their student week. And I saw her and I said, yes, this is a fine candidate. And I decided that she was not letting her go. So,
wow.
Yes.
How did you do that?
We want mutual. You know.
You didn't do it as a military man.
No, she had the audacity to come and invite me to come and be her chief guest for the week. And I looked at her and said, why me? And she said, well, I seem to see something in you. And
did she ever get to tell you what it was?
No, it takes a genius to discover a genius. In simple terms.
Wow.
Yes.
Interesting. But you have other wives too. There are 2 other ones now.
Yes. I mean, my government housewives are there. They retirement too.
What about your children? I mean, how many are there?
Well, we don't count children.
But you have a number.
Yes.
Yes.
Dozens.
Dozens?
Yes.
What do you mean dozens? I mean, dozens will be 12 times what?
Dozens, yes.
And so is...
Admiral Way used to tell us, pigeon by dozen, monkey by party.
What does that mean?
You count the pigeons, dozen. The monkey is this group, this party, one group. They form a body. So the children from their own, you don't count them. At best you can say, do you want to make them monkey by party or pigeon by dozen? I would rather make them in dozens. So a dozen for, this household, a dozen for that household.
So we're putting at over 20 then.
That's an understatement.
Really?
Oh, yes.
Okay. I mean, you had the wherewithal, didn't you?
No. Education is very important. I enjoyed that relationship with my mother, even from kindergarten, where she gave me a slate, and I said, well, are you assuring me that I have a slate pencil every day, a new one? And she did. That was an incentive.
Okay.
And if I didn't get my slate pencil, I'm not going to school that day.
You recall that day that your job as a governor came to an end. What were you doing, and how did it happen?
Oh, yes. The honest truth, I might as well tell you. The night before then, my commissioner of police, Ali Dowu, requested that he would like to come and see me. I was going to play some golf, and I said, okay, come in around at 7:38, and so he did. And he came, I was looking at me, and I was looking at him, and he brought some photographs, he was showing me. I said, thank you very much. Is that all we wanted to see before? And he wouldn't speak. Apparently, he knew the coup was going to take place that night, but he didn't have the courage to tell me. Instead...
That is the Muritala coup.
Yes. Instead, he was making sure that I was, to be able to report back, that I was in town and was in office and was in the government house that night. And I went to sleep, and my body was telling me something. I could not sleep. So at 3 a.m., I sent for my ADC and told him to get someone, the members of my cabinet. And he did that. By 6 a.m., they had already, I had my whole cabinet with me in Government House. And I was telling out my experience with the Commissioner of Police, and I suspect something funny. Then my wife leaned up from upstairs and said, put on the television. And the military music was on.
You were not scared. You were, they were
No. I
you.
mean, when we were finally sent for and taken to Lagos and told that we were retired, I was retired on my 33rd birthday. I quietly thanked them and said, well, some of us have special skills. I was a pilot, I was a diver, a navigator, and a damn good shot also. So I told them that some of us are still available to give assistance and advice if and when necessary.
Were you disappointed that you had to leave the military at the age of 33?
Disappointed? No, there's never a dull moment in my life.
Has your military career enabled you to add value to your position now as a royal father?
Yeah, sure.
How?
I'm training my people in mushroom production, training them in fishing, training them in boat building, training them in making bread and other confectionaries and things. You train them in various fields, so everybody's busy. You got it? So if people are idle, then you now say, look, make them into a sanitation authority. So they now, there's people always eating sweet oil, polluting the place. So a sanitation authority for everybody else who hasn't got anything gainful to do. So you clean the things, and we'll give you boots and brushes and so on. So everybody, all hands on deck, and nobody should be left idle.
Have you had any regrets at all in life?
Yes, my only regret, only ambition left is to sing in a band.
You got a voice for that.
Yes,
Do
midnight.
you play any musical instruments?
Yes, because, I still remember when in Yaba, when I came back from the UK in 1965, and we went to Yaba, and you had the Kakadu and the, Victor Waipo had arrived there, and then came Rex Lawson.
You must have been a young guy, hovering around, and a lot of women swarming over you.
Who, me?
At that age, 65.
1965, yes, I was 23 years old. I was the captain of my ship, yeah. And when I'm on tour, out at sea, doing patrols, I'm out. When I'm ashore, I'm ashore.
What was your life like with young girls then?
No. There's not, it's like the lawyer said, it's lawful to love a lawyer. So it's also lawful to love a sailor. We were sailors. We'll go out to sea, go out there for 6 weeks, and you come back. And then, at that time, I was not playing golf. If not, I would have been going to play golf during my spare time. But, in the evening, to go down and listen to all these fine musicians, And
Who was your favorite then?
I mean, the Kabam Bamboo, I think, was Victor Olaya, I think. Olaya and all, they were fine musicians. Then Guitar Boy came, and then Rex Hudson arrived.
And then Fela was there.
Fela,
Playing the music.
Yeah, Fela was. People didn't quite understand Fela's music.
How did you react to Fela's music of Zombie?
No, Fela's music came growing. It became. People didn't imbibe it immediately. You got it?
Yeah.
Fela studied music formally abroad. And some of his colleagues and cousins also were the people who were now in the military, like Bokno.
Shegu Bokno.
Not Shegu Bokno, Wale Bokno.
Wale Bokno, okay.
He was our director of music. And then you had Olubowoku also in the army. These are all from musical families in Lagos. Okay? And my mother grew up in Lagos in the 1901, 1910. So
what was your nickname then?
My nickname? I was called Jackie.
Jackie?
Yes.
Why Jackie? You were Jackie?
My brother's nickname was King Boy, after the King Boy Amai of Nimbe. And I was Jackie, after the Jackie of Opobo. The title of the King of Opobo is Jackie.
If you were going on holiday to an island, what are the 5 most important things you take along with you? No woman.
5 most important things.
Yeah.
I take my Bible.
1.
In fact, I would take my iPhone because it has everything, the Bible, even the dictionary, everything in it. So you with the iPhone and a battery, a power pack, okay, you can last there for, like journey, even on in the desert.
Yeah.
So that in this modern day and age, what would I take? When I used to go on tour in the speedboats through the creeks, I'm wearing my uniform, I'm wearing a woolen socks, I'm wearing a proper shoe, okay? You dress for any weather. If the weather gets too hot, you now remove. If it gets too cold, you now cover up. Then you carry your cloak. So you dress fully for the weather you might encounter in your desert island or whatever it is. So you have to think of what we will need there. Luckily, we don't have to carry air. God is giving us the free air. You will need water. Otherwise, you will not last. So if you have this thing, you need to have fire. So you either learn how to make fire from stones, or you have to carry matches and some form of cooking arrangement. So talking to apparel for your safety, so you don't catch pneumonia or this or that. Then you have drinking water. Drinking water is the other thing, but there too, you can always dig a well and get some drinking water. I'll wait and see the rain. And of course a tent. You have to have a tent over you, and then sleeping arrangement and so on. And then some buckets and other things, so that if it rains, you now have replenishment for your water.
Thank you for being on the program. Yeah. Have you had a good time?
Yeah, I mean, as I told you, I used to enjoy playing golf, but now I'm a consultant.
Are you worried about that?
No, you see, it's an opportunity for me to reach out to my fellow countrymen.
And you have indeed. Thank you so much for coming on the program and affording us your time.
Yeah.
And that's how it's been on The Chat this week. I am Manny. See you next time. The Chat is produced by Channels Television. You can watch it again online. Just visit our social media platforms, YouTube, Facebook.